there's someone missing.
Oh, you have jumped the gun there. Look at that. We weren't even live. You were so excited.
Was it? Oh, gee whiz, I jumped the gun. Oh, well, we're going to be jumping the gun a lot today, I tell you right now. Because, and look, we're missing someone. She's just taken off.
I think Lisa now identifies as a cushion. Okay? Clearly that's what's gone on here. She has run to get beverages for us all.
Is the cushion known as a she or a her? Or a he or a him?
I'm not sure.
You know, anyway, so welcome everyone. We are here live and Edge Radio Australia on The One Thing with Lisa, the cushion, Leanne, Aaron, and our special guest today, Catherine Wood from the Sanctuary of Ananda.
Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.
I'm looking forward to today. It is going to be a hoot. If you're not on yet, just tell you right now. Tell your friends, tell your relatives. Actually, don't tell your relatives. Keep your relatives away from this one.
Yeah, Mum, sorry. Great. This is going to be a really naughty one, Mum. So, well, I don't know about naughty, but it could be.
I hope so.
So Kathy is an expert and world-known Tantra teacher. And a lot of what we're going to talk to you about today. Oh, here we go. Here come the beers.
There we go.
Aaron and Lisa.
We are now prepared for the show. Lovely. I love it.
Hurry up and sit down. The cushion took your spot.
Oh, sorry I'm late. What did I miss?
Oh, I just did a quick introduction for Kathy, and I'm going to read a little bit about it from here. Okay. So Kathy owns the Sanctuary of Ananda, which is in Perth, Western Australia. Okay. And she is, I've known Kathy for a long time. We won't say how long, Kathy, hey? But we've recently reconnected, and she's the most beautiful soul that, you know, that walks the earth. She's one of those people that you can just light up. Light up your life, right? So I'm going to read a little bit about her from here and what the practice of Tantra is really briefly, and then we're going to get into all the juicy gossip.
So what is the show actually about?
Well, let's ask Kathy.
Well, I'm under the understanding I'm here to teach and share my knowledge on Tantra, sexuality, what it is, what it isn't, a lot of stigma around it, and maybe shine a little bit of light, and also helping people with it as well.
So it is Tantra, not Tantra?
It's Tantra.
It's Tantra. Okay. Now, I can see that we have a whole heap of people on watching live. So can I encourage people to be commenting and liking and sharing?
And asking questions.
And
saying happy birthday.
Saying happy birthday to Leanne.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Edie. That was Edie, wasn't it?
Certainly is. Certainly is. Okay, well, let's jump into it because, it's funny. We've got a show that's about a type of sex or a sexuality. And
it's a sexuality.
It's a sexuality. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, and all of a sudden we've all become 12-year-old boys.
So speak for yourself.
I don't know. You've giggled more than I have. So
I don't identify as male.
Well, we've already had a little joke about the microphone, haven't we? We should have put like a little red cover or something like that. That would have been fun. I can see
a little red cover.
Going to have Kathy back.
Just recognise
because you can't see the black very well against our t-shirts.
Oh, so. Okay. If it's got a red end on it, my advice is go see a doctor. Antibiotics are your friend. Okay. Jeez.
That is embarrassed. Have you ever seen him go red?
I'm not embarrassed at all.
No, he doesn't go. He doesn't get embarrassed. So, Kathy, tell us a little bit about your journey with Tantra, and when did you first come across this modality?
So I was about 20 years old, and I'm 56 now, going on 57. And I actually had a GP, believe it or not, at the time, an Indian doctor who actually shared a little bit about what Tantra was, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. And so I went to India to study.
Like you do?
Yeah, for about a year.
How good's that?
Because a lot of the original Tantras come from India, Japan, Nepal, Tibet.
Oh, really? Okay. Didn't know Japan angle. There you go.
Yeah. Loved it. Came back to Perth, where I live, and just started a journey of a lot of healing modalities, but I kept going back to Tantra because to me, Tantra is the oldest, well, it is actually known that it's the oldest healing modality in the world.
Wow.
And everything branched off from Tantra. But a lot of the Western world, they think it's just all about sex.
Yeah.
And
It's all about sex, baby. It's all about you and me.
and that's one part of it. But then there's a whole pile over here that the West don't know about,
Right.
which is sadly missing in people's, minds.
Yeah. So Westernized Tantra. Explain a little bit about Westernized Tantra.
Yeah.
Is it more about the sex side of things?
Yeah, it really is.
Okay.
It's about pleasuring.
Yeah, it's about, desire and pleasure and having multiple orgasms and connecting deeper into your body and your partner. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I was about to say, tell me the bad.
That's an amazing part.
I know.
I was just gonna-
It's just the shoulders on the ground going,
Your point is,
to obviously to, use that energy also for healing.
Right.
So you can move it around your body, and there's a lot of breath work and a lot of techniques that we use.
So is it sex with intention?
Correct.
Okay.
So what it basically says
that
is
was good,
that
wasn't it?
I've always had the
Number one
intention to have sex. I don't understand what that's about. Come on. Okay.
basically, I could be here all day explaining what it
but
is.
isn't the
We've got
intention
plenty
to have
of
an
time.
orgasm?
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
But Tantra is supposed to take it higher
Oops,
into
Mum,
what
sorry.
we call consciousness and love, sacred
Right.
love.
Yeah.
So it's not just the alpha primal.
Mhm.
It's connecting deeply with yourself and another
Yeah.
with the intention of love.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
also, people think Tantra is spirituality,
Right.
and it is, but it's not a religion.
Okay.
So it is a philosophy that looks at consciousness. So being conscious of yourself,
right.
your desires, are they healthy, unhealthy? How
Well,
you can
spirituality and religion are two very separate things, right?
absolutely.
So, no, I can understand why that would fall in that category, yeah.
Yeah. And
Makes
I
sense.
found, throughout doing this for 30 years that when I say doing it,
You must be
doing it.
She's exhausted.
very experienced, teaching it, that it always brings fascination to people, always. And I've, had so many amazing stories over the years that captivate people when you
Right.
say Tantra and they go, well, I don't really know what that is. But I find just about everybody knows what Kama Sutra is.
Yep.
Oh,
So
yes.
I go, Kama Sutra? They go, oh, yeah.
I don't know what that is either.
Oh,
Oh,
I know I'm not very good co-host, am I? Like you would have thought I'd done my research.
Yeah.
And,
I actually-
no, I'm just going to go in cold.
all right, well, I'm going to go in very warm. And I'm going to tell you right now.
This is awkward,
Oh,
Aaron.
it is a little. It's going to get worse.
We're going to get to know him on a whole nother level.
I've got the book, right? So, and it's not just about the pictures, right? Look, all jokes aside, okay, and we often joke about this. I actually am half Indian, okay? So I have an Indian
No,
side.
you joke about that. We don't joke
Yeah, well,
about
I
that.
do, okay, yeah, because
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you very much.
you're a big handsome. I know. No, so anyway, so my
You and
Indian
Leanne
side,
joke about
I am extremely proud of, right?
Yeah.
But so, okay, being something that is associated with being Indian, I thought, well, let's find out a little bit about it. Let's test the waters a bit, and yeah.
Oh, so you're the guest on the show today. We're going to ask
No,
you.
I'm not at all. I'm just saying that I actually toe in the water a little bit on this, and I
Yeah.
think there's a lot to it. And I think that, okay, sexuality is not just sex, okay? And I think there's a lot more to it. And I think that, we talked about orgasms a moment ago. Obviously, that's, everybody's goal here. But when you can take your orgasms from here to, whoa, I get it. It's good gear. Yeah.
So, Kathy, oh God, my thought processes is just gone. I knew this was going to happen. I had a really
What have
good
you done
question.
to it?
Oh, no,
I had a
my
really
fault.
good question, but all I can think about is, from here to here.
Yeah.
You've been teaching for a very long time.
Mhm.
What is the ratio of women to men?
Oh,
That's a good question. One-on-one sessions. So I do one-on-one private sessions.
okay.
She raised her eyebrows.
The ratio that I have found over the years is more men.
Okay.
Okay, so what does that look like, a one-on-one session? Who refers this person to you?
Well, they find me through Facebook, social media,
Okay.
website, Google.
And what's their driving force for wanting to contact you?
Lots of different reasons, but a lot of it is just to learn to be a better lover.
Yep.
Learn to understand themselves, learn to understand their partner.
Okay.
Tantra is, non-judgmental, so it's open to same-sex couples as
Right,
well.
there you go.
Because it's really about energy.
Okay.
And what about if you don't have a partner? That's another question. People
Lots
ask
of my
me.
clients don't have partners because
Right.
the ultimate goal of Tantra is to know thyself. So say like they usually come actually after a broken relationship
Yeah.
Right.
to try to heal. And,
Ah.
what Tantra does, it helps them see their blind spots, I call them scars, their imprints of perhaps what they didn't see in their relationship and why it broke up,
Okay.
what they didn't see in themselves. Maybe they didn't treat her right, didn't treat him right. There's so
Sure.
many stories.
Yeah.
And majority of my work is couple sessions. So I do a lot of couple
That's what I
sensual
expected.
sensual
Yeah,
massage. So I teach
Okay.
lots of workshops and also couples retreats, 2-day
Right.
retreats. The workshops, and I also offer modules in internationally certified Tantra training, is usually women.
Yeah.
But in saying that, the last probably 9 months, I've seen a ratio of 50-50.
Wow.
So I'm
some
like,
men are-
guys, come on.
What do you think's changed that?
Oh, wow.
So they're going to become
Feedback.
practitioners, right?
Some of them are becoming practitioners. Not everyone goes on to do module 3, which is the
Right.
practitioner training.
Yeah.
But I think people are just waking up and just want to be a better person.
Yes. I think so too.
Thoroughly agree. There's been a great awakening, let's be honest, over
Yes.
the last
yeah.
few years, and people are looking at things that they didn't look at before. Like whenever I'd hear the word tantra or tantric or whatever, any variation of it before, everyone went, shh, naughty,
Yeah. Yeah.
But now we're looking at this with a much more open heart, let's face it, an open mind, obviously. Yeah.
So were you the one that said, because I got to the studio earlier today before Leanne got here,
Mhm.
and we were joking with Jeff, who had the show on previously, and I
Sure.
was asking if you knew what it was. Didn't you say, isn't it where you have sex without touching somebody?
I did say something.
Yeah.
That is, that
I
something
know.
you probably should explain because there's a part of it I understand.
Yeah. So, in a nutshell, because it's quite complicated, but in a nutshell, basically, it's possible to have what we call energy orgasm, where your body goes into a full body orgasm. So you move the sexual energy through your etheric body and your physical body. So it's not the same sensation as a genital orgasm, but some people say it's even nicer just to have your whole body is basically your genitals. So in Tantra, we call the vagina a yoni, which means source, symbol of life, sacred place. They say that a woman's body is a temple and the gateway to her temple is through her yoni. The
It's like when they
G-spot.
say, okay, the main way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Yeah.
No, it's not. There's another target. Just saying.
Of course there is.
We call the penis.
Says Aaron, I see how much you like your food. You might be a double whammy.
I could be.
So what do they call the penis?
Oh, yes, penis. So they call the penis a wand of light. So
Wand of light.
I always think
Richard?
think of the Star Wars with a lightsaber.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Are you getting birthday sex today?
Hope so.
All I can hear in my mind is.
And the testicles are called pouches of jewels.
Oh, are they really?
This is great.
Oh, I wish I'd taken a photo of his face.
Oh, no. There's a video. I don't know if you've noticed.
Every time I try to do a photo, all I get is Leanne's feet.
Oh, there we
Well,
go.
there's a foot fetish thing happening as well.
Oh,
around
you're
here, you know.
Yeah.
going to absolutely hate it when you look back at all these shorts that I've been sending to Itty.
Oh, right.
Oh,
There's going to be a whole new audience
Because
now.
all we've got is all your feet.
It's all right. People pay good money for that.
I'm going to try and draw this back. Okay.
Sorry.
So, okay, on that, the whole body orgasm thing, okay? Because I'm sure.
I have a question about that when you're finished.
Well, no, let me throw you on that one then. Because
Oh,
it could
okay.
very well be the same question.
No, I was going to ask is if that's a whole body thing, is that the equivalent to what is called a wet dream?
No, it's known as cosmic,
why are you
cosmic
shaking your head?
orgasm.
How do you know the answer?
Because there's do you know?
Anyway, why is he looking like that?
Me too.
Have you done Tantra before, Aaron?
No, I've just had a life. Okay? I've just experienced the rainbow. No, not that rainbow.
Don't make fun of me, or I'll cry.
I'm not.
Right. Let our guest answer.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kirby, this is
fine.
hilarious. Sorry, we've got a world expert, and we
Exactly.
need fucking jokes.
But that's why we've all turned to 12-year-old boys. That's how it works, right? Go.
I still don't think it's a silly question.
No. We call
No.
it cosmic orgasm.
Right.
Cosmic orgasm.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, beyond
Why-
the form. Tantra is form, consciousness, spirit, soul, whatever people like to call that eternal part of them.
Mhm.
So the word actually means to expand consciousness. So
Okay.
we're not cavemen anymore.
No.
We're in the year 2024. We're evolving. The human race is evolving. So Tantra is evolution. So if we're just having sex for gratification and even just for pleasure, and neither of them are wrong, it's if we keep doing that, though, we call that involution.
So why can that not happen while you're asleep? That's my question. Why can you not have
Well,
the...
wet dreams are more of the primal body.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah. Whereas when you're, awake and you're actually meditating in tantric lovemaking, your consciousness expands.
Yeah, see, I would have thought that there's a lot that happens when you're actually sleeping.
Well, it does to the body.
From a whole spiritual perspective, and
Oh,
traveling
yeah.
through the galaxies.
Oh, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, the astral body never sleeps and
Yeah.
it's in dream state learning and
so
soul's learning.
that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Okay, I'm going to tie the two together here. With Tantra, with tantric sex, okay, if we're talking about the non-touching part,
Mhm.
can that be used to elevate things so that the physical orgasm is much more explosive, much bigger, much more whole body?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
That's what, and again, it depends. Everything's about intent, right? So if your intent is just to have a great physical orgasm, awesome. But if you want to take that orgasm into higher states of consciousness, then that's what will be the answer. So you can look for answers in your life or blind spots.
Yeah.
Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychologists in the
yes.
world, called it shadow. So that's us, and the shadow is behind.
Mhm.
Tantra helps us to recognize the
Right.
unhealthy parts of us
Right.
so that we can purify them.
I thought it was a little devil that was on the shoulder. Do it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's always
That's why I
there.
sound
That's
like
always
the
there.
blend.
There's always the higher and the lower, right?
Yep, so true.
And Tantra kind of starts to help us to purify sex so that it becomes making love. And it's a connection between two people from a higher place of consciousness rather than a primal animal. Even though, they say in Tantra that sex can be pure with the primitive and the advanced,
Right.
but in between is desire, and desire is not wrong.
No, it's not.
Not wrong at all. But
No,
if
it's
we
not.
want to purify ourselves, whatever spiritual path we're walking, then of course Tantra is considered one of those advanced practices people turn to expand their sexuality and themselves, know thyself. Obviously the primitive have sex for procreation, but we just need to be aware, I have an analogy when I teach that Tantra is like the temple on the mountain, and then the village in the mud's underneath that mountain, and in the village in the mud's all that human stuff that we haven't healed from.
Sure.
Our blind spots, etc., and all the unhealthy parts of us.
Right.
And then Tantra helps us to recognize them, because awareness is the first state of
Awareness.
transformation. If we can be aware of what takes us to the village, then we can start actually training ourselves in consciousness
Right.
to spend more time in that temple.
I'm so glad you went there, because look, we could just keep talking about the sex bit. Great, all that. But let's look at the other side of things, honestly. I mean, we're all trying to, I think most of us are trying to improve ourselves, right? I mean, that's what life is. It's a journey of sort of self-discovery and work in progress.
I'm not sure
right?
where the most of the human population is, but
Okay. Well, certainly.
we are.
people in my circle.
Certainly, with what we represent and what we're about.
Yeah.
people who follow us, that's a big part of their lives, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to self-improve. So
That's why they follow us.
That's right.
Because we're just awesome.
They could just be bored. I don't know, right? Possible too. But yeah, like on that side of things, I mean, okay, tell me a little bit about the Tantra world in that space.
In which space?
In just the self-improvement part. Just really looking inward and at yourself.
Yeah, well, they basically say, whether it's true or not, but this is what I believe because I teach it, and I've seen my life dramatically transform for the better.
Okay.
That's why I'm so passionate about it. But they say that our personality is our physical body, our mental body, our concrete mind, and our astral body, which is our emotional body. The three make up our personality.
Right.
And then we have a higher self, whatever people like to think of that.
Yep.
And basically, it's a journey of looking at all of our biases and beliefs and imprints. And Tantra has a really amazing word, authentic Tantra does, that you don't actually hear much in the Western world. It's called glamour.
Glamour.
So glamour is a false belief that our personality believes is true. So it's not actually true. So because what higher consciousness means is we see things the way they actually are,
Right.
not the way we think they are.
We did a show on perspective.
Yeah. So Tantra kind of looks at all of that. Then it looks at love. It looks at self-love. It looks at connecting with somebody else through that platform of love. And it just keeps raising our vibration up and up and up.
I get that. I mean, on the other part of it, I'm going to say something, very, I don't know, unmanly here, okay? But there's a great deal more satisfaction. There's a lot more value in it to make love than to have sex.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And
Did you
I know
say that was unmanly?
Yeah.
No, that is not unmanly.
No.
That's portrayed in the world as
Oh,
unmanly.
no,
to
but
say.
we love that.
Okay, because it's about
Yeah,
slam,
female.
whatever,
Yeah, no.
right?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
masculinity.
True masculinity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We understand the difference, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the other side is what's sold, and women suffer the same problem, with different, obviously.
Well, let me just say, women love men that love, not wham bam. Thank you,
But
man.
sometimes in life, you just need a little wham. Okay. Sometimes in life, you just need.
Wham.
There you go. Quite literally, wake me up before you go, right? But sometimes sex is just a primal thing.
Yeah,
That's how it is.
Oh, yeah.
Way you go.
Absolutely.
But if you want to create a relationship with someone, that's not, you're never going to get a relationship out of
absolutely.
wham bam.
Yeah.
Well, you help each other find those blind spots in the village in the mud, and you help each other heal from them. You don't, if they're scars, you don't, add to that scar and make it bigger or scratch. I call it scratching the scar. So I see so many couples that come here to the sanctuary who are unconsciously scratching each other's wounds.
I wanted to ask you about couples, actually. I'm making the assumption that the majority of couples that come to see you, one is being dragged. I can't imagine as many that are 100% committed. Is that true? Would that be true?
Sometimes, look,
More
it's a mixture.
hesitant?
It's a lollybag. So, sometimes one drags the other one.
Yeah.
I see it a lot in couples retreats. The woman's already bought it and said, we're going somewhere, you're going to love it. And you see the guys walk in and go, what have I walked into?
WTF.
And they think they've got to take their clothes off and dance around like hippies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. For a guy, it's a lot like going shopping with your woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like just, you look fantastic. Can we go next? Can we go? Can we go? Like it's a painful experience, right? So I think a lot of guys feel like I don't know. I haven't met one, but I think you feel like you're dragged along and you think, oh, this is going to be like that. And I think you probably find if you open yourself
Do some
up,
of those guys
quite
have a different perspective of what it is? Like
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask for a case study there
100%.
to ask if any marriages have been saved through
Yes,
this.
so many.
Yeah,
so
I'd love
many.
to have a case study if you have one.
Yeah. God,
let's get a
there's-
research group. Let's do it, right?
No, just a couple that might just come to your mind, and obviously call them whoever you want to. Harry and Harriet or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I do remember one couple in Bali, and they had some issues at the end of their retreat.
Mhm.
And, I went up to them and I said, do you need help? I can see that you're crying. This is our last day. And they're like, no, we're fine. Leave us alone. When the actual couples retreat finished, I stayed on at the retreat and so did they.
Right.
And then they approached me and said, hey, look, we've got some issues going on here. My partner's been unfaithful. In the retreat, he said it was twice, but months leading up to this retreat, he said it was only once. So, of course, that opened a great big can of worms.
Yep, big time.
And so I actually took them through more Tantra sessions for about 6 to 9 months. And, they're flying high, forgiven, moved on, because sometimes that part of our personality doesn't want to forgive. It still wants the love, but it doesn't want to forgive.
Yeah.
And if you really want the relationship, and if you realize that we all make mistakes in the village in the mud, I mean, some mistakes are a no-go zone for people. But, if couples can come back from something like that, that's well done.
And forgiveness is huge. Not many people know how to forgive.
No.
I know how to forgive, but I'll tell you right now, when it comes to fidelity, I think that's probably, it's not negotiable, right? Simple as that.
It depends on the person's values.
No, I absolutely agree. And I mean, I've unfortunately been in a relationship with someone who was unfaithful, right? And their reasons weren't what you would think, and that's kind of what's bizarre about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, inherently.
But do you think maybe if you'd had the opportunity to have counselling or do something similar around that?
This
frame?
In this particular case, I saw it as very much, it's a personality fault.
Okay,
It's
all right.
it's something that's inherently that the person's got a history of doing this to myself and other people. And, I'm just the last one on the train, I guess. So why I bring that up is because it is wonderful that people are going there to have that experience to get closer. But if there's that kind of betrayal, shouldn't you just, look, you know what? Let the door hit you on the ass on the way out, honestly.
Would it be true to say, and I'm not justifying it by any means, but would it be true to say, generally speaking, when somebody does something like that, it's not about their partner, it's about something that's lacking in them. And
Agreed.
I know
Totally
there's a
agree.
lot of emotion there, so you're not going to reason it and say, well, it's not about me, baby, it's about you, so let's just keep going on.
No, I think you're 100% right. I totally agree. Yeah.
So they'll keep going. We're going to interject.
Tantra's not black and white. There's millions of shades of grey.
Yep.
So for some couples, they can, with the right mentor, the right, counsellor, they can move through that.
Good on them if they can
depending
do it.
on the circumstances. If they're both willing to look at their shit.
Sure.
But
I think you've just nailed it. People are not willing to look at their shit.
yes.
They're very willing to look at your shit,
Yes.
but not
Yeah,
Not
it's
good at-
getting
with the
that
mirror.
old mirror out.
And that's why Tantra,
Yeah.
helps us to be conscious of all these parts of us that perhaps we're doing to hurt our partner or people in our life that we're not really realizing we're doing.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
why we're doing it, or why that,
they're coming through on the other
why
feed,
that's
which I
happening.
can't see, which is rather frustrating.
you can't pull those
I
ones
can't
up?
pull up. No, I can only see
different
one
feeds.
feed. It's very distressing.
I did not know that.
That is life. I mean, the good news is during the week we get to look at these comments and so forth.
So which feed do they need to
But
come
that-
up on?
really depends on which one it chooses to go for. Don't ask me the techie questions. Okay?
He's not the techie guy.
Okay, I can operate this.
All right.
That's about it.
Anybody
Okay?
that's leaving comments, you're on the wrong feed, and Aaron
Well,
doesn't know which one to go on to.
Well, do you know what though? Speaking of stories, and you telling us some stories, I know
Uh-oh.
because I've had a little discussion with you about this a few times. You've told me a couple of little funny stories and incidences, and we have a flying show on this on Edge Radio. We have a Come Fly
sure
with
do.
Me, right?
Yep.
So I think Kathy's got her own "Come Fly with Me" story, and I don't think it's got anything to do with the what's that?
Mile High
Mile
Club.
High Club. I don't think so, but you never know. So Kathy, you want to share a little bit about that story?
Yeah, true story. Gosh, I don't know how long ago, 15, 17 years, I don't know. I flew over to Sydney and Melbourne with a girlfriend,
Right.
Lisa, beautiful Lisa.
Be very careful of anyone called Lisa. Just saying. Red flag.
Your life has changed. Aaron.
And, back in the day, I went through some trauma, so it was a bit scary to be on a plane. And we were coming back from Melbourne to Perth.
Right.
And one of the male, what do you call them?
Steward.
Yeah, he was amazing. Like, he could tell that I was nervous, gave me a bit of oxygen, walked me around the plane.
Gave you a bit of oxygen. Sounds so casual. Gave me some peanuts and a beer.
It's like, here, have a cigarette. Here, have oxygen.
Is that what we're calling it now? Okay.
And I remember going to sleep, waking up and feeling just really dry, and I needed a drink. So I went down the back of the plane because we were sitting, Lisa and I were sitting at the back of the plane. And back in the day, you know, they had the curtain, all the hostesses.
They don't have curtains anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't, although maybe they do, but it was just
Anyway.
completely blocked.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm really dry, I need a cup of tea. And he goes, that's from the oxygen. He goes, okay, no, come and sit with us.
Right.
And he goes, come and move in here. And they're all having a discussion. I think there was
Oh,
2
how
stewards
lovely.
and
Right.
4 hostesses.
That's a good airline.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he goes, if you're nervous flying a plane, what have you been doing in Melbourne? And I said, I've been teaching Tantra. And he goes, what's that? And I went, Kama Sutra? He goes, you're staying here for the rest of the trip. It's a true story.
Quite literally.
And when the passengers were dinging their bell, they're all fighting amongst each other who was going to go and serve them.
Because they wanted to learn.
And I was giving them Tantra lessons, right? On lingam and yoni massage.
Oh, we're going to ask about that a bit later.
Yeah.
Anyway, when we landed in Perth, he came up to us and said to Lisa and I, you have to get off the plane last.
Right.
And we were like, what the hell's going on? Anyway, everyone was off the plane. And then he said, okay, you can get up now. And off you go. He said, the pilot wants to meet you.
Oh,
Right.
It's a true story on my Facebook somewhere. It's buried in all the photos.
It must be true if it's on Facebook.
Oh,
It's true.
The photo's true. There's me sitting in the captain's seat with his
In the
hat on.
cockpit.
Oh, nice.
Hang on a minute. In the cockpit.
I am so embarrassed that you said that.
You were going to. I had just got in quicker.
Doesn't she
Because you
embarrass
beat me.
They both embarrass me.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like,
And we come in every week just for that reason.
Yeah, we love it.
he's like, tell me more about Tantra.
She's like
Yeah,
the mummy. The mummy. Yeah, so
That's cool,
that's
Yeah, and our
amazing.
families were like waiting and waiting and waiting. We're not coming out. But who gets to sit in the captain's seat?
I know. How cool is that?
Yeah.
In the cockpit.
Right. We'll have to get you in next year for Come Fly With Me with your own little story. We'll be on.
So what were you teaching them in the back
Oh,
room?
well, their question was on premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction. And
Oh.
Tantra has all these techniques for men to help them with that.
Right.
So
And-
premature ejaculation.
That's easy fix. Do you think about Margaret Thatcher?
Oh, but only
So what's
somebody.
an easy fix for our viewers out there if that happens to them?
An
And-
easy
and
fix.
And,
Yeah.
and is it normally
Breathe.
younger people?
No, it
No.
can be anybody,
Okay.
any age. Yeah.
Yeah. And does it happen more often? Does premature ejaculation happen more often to somebody that has abstained for a long time?
Not necessarily. No,
Okay.
no.
Interesting.
Yes, like I said, all different folks and walks of life come through the doors with,
Yeah.
different
Right.
things that are going on.
So is
for
it like
themselves
a set of
sexually.
exercises they have to do, or is it coming back to consciousness again? Is it
both.
Okay.
Yeah, it's no good teaching the body something if your mind's not following suit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like to look for their blind spots to
Okay.
see perhaps where the
What do you mean
core
by
is.
blind spot? I don't understand.
Parts of them that they haven't seen yet. Like perhaps if they've got premature ejaculation, I can usually, by talking to them, unpacking the onion, peeling the onion,
Mhm.
I can usually trace it back to,
A trauma.
maybe when they've had sex with someone, that person was, that wasn't good enough. So then
Yeah.
it affects them.
Yeah.
Right.
And
like
then,
anxiety.
and then
basically,
anxiety,
Okay,
and then
okay.
their body responds to that
Right.
anxiety. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we look at that and then use the practices and the breathing,
Yep.
then we can go to the temple on the mountain, and it helps most men. Yeah,
Oh, that's
It's just that-
fascinating.
Right.
there's a
Right.
lot of exercises to do, but to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the human race, we're guilty of just wanting a quick fix.
Yeah, we're
you
lazy.
know.
Yeah.
So let's go and get a Viagra or something. When there are cases that people need Viagra, absolutely, but there are
Yeah.
But it's
cases
become,
where they don't.
that's become part of the social fabric now. Like
Yeah,
people in their early 20s and teens
Mm.
are taking Viagra, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
And it
absolutely.
changes the dating market. People don't think about that. That's a reality.
How
right?
does that change the dating market?
Oh, okay, right. I'm not 20 anymore. Okay.
Really?
Yes.
I would never. Anyway.
I know it's hard to believe, right? And
Look at that
and it's no
face.
secret that I generally these days go out with women younger than me, right? But so there's an expectation.
We're not in the
Oh,
pit at all. Well, I'm not anyway.
Village.
no, well, I'm immature, so I try to match that.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
So yeah, but no, where I'm going on this. So there's an expectation, right, that if you are sleeping with a 35-year-old woman, that you need to perform like a 35-year-old man. And I'm no longer a 35-year-old man. And a lot of men feel that pressure in society now. And that's a big part of it. And okay, that's a bigger age gap I'm sort of throwing out there. But you know, if you were even there's 5 years difference, this is genuinely something that's crept in.
Do you think
especially with
it's
the hookups
also,
and all that stuff.
you know, that having that issue for a male, a younger male, it's also to do with things like the crap they're putting in their body, you know, all the things like energy drinks and, you know, all the sugars and all the alcohol and all this sort of stuff.
Also, masturbation's got a bit to do with that too, with young guys, with creating PE, premature ejaculation.
Ah.
So their body learns to come really quickly.
Yeah.
Look at that, they're just efficient.
But, you know, there's an old saying in Tantra, because women are yin, right? Or feminine is yin, I should
Yes.
say, not women.
Feminine.
Feminine is yin,
Right.
masculine is yang.
Hmm.
Feminine is receptive, it receives, masculine gives, it's positive, right?
Right.
So there's an old saying that yin takes a long time to heat up
Right.
and a long time to cool down.
Hmm.
Yang doesn't take long to heat up, doesn't
No.
take long to cool down.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
women need the foreplay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
They need it. And in Tantra, because it's sacred, you know, as a general rule,
Yep.
men say to their woman, you know, instead of just entering them when they feel like it, you know, are you ready? May I? Can I?
Sure.
So then
wow.
it becomes like a heart connection
Yeah.
for her
Yeah.
and him. And interesting enough, in the etheric energy, if anyone knows about the etheric body, just one off from the physical form in the intangible, we have what we call a yin and yang, or a positive and negative sexual pole
Okay.
or sexual center. A lot of people don't like the word pole.
Well,
So-
I've made all my decisions. So
Your
So
lightsaber.
a man's positive sexual center is his lingam,
right.
and his heart center is the negative, or the cool. So the receiving, the giving.
Yeah.
And for a
Ah.
woman, her heart with her breasts either side
Yep.
is the positive sexual
Gotcha.
center, and her
Ah.
womb is the negative it receives.
Right.
So in a Tantra for couples, a woman learns this is her power, that he wants to be appreciated, he wants to be honored, he wants to be loved. Yeah.
Okay.
And in turn, she wants the same thing. So it's like, because masculine gives, he gives her what she needs,
Yep.
emotionally support, protect, provide.
Yeah.
And then she gives him back all the qualities of, you know, the feminine nourishing and nurturing and loving. And
Love that.
they say that feminine energy brings beauty and light to the world.
Of course we do.
I
and it
thoroughly
brings,
agree.
And it
actually,
brings
100% agree.
balance back
Yeah.
to the masculine. And this
Yeah.
is also same-sex couples too.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because some men have more feminine energy.
Yeah.
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 And
so
some women have
same-sex
more
couples.
masculine
It's
energy.
just
Yeah.
who we have both energies.
Yeah.
It's just who's going to be more dominant.
And
Yeah.
does that change? Those energies, can they change?
Yeah,
all
like
the time,
really
every
can.
day. Yeah.
like when because I teach massage, not only couples, sensual, erotic massage, but also in my trainings, we don't have any genital touch in the trainings or anything like that. At the sanctuary,
that would be-
He's like, there's a disappointment on his face
I
anyway.
was just about to sign up.
Because that would have been an orgy if you'd done that.
I do show the massage, the lingam and yoni massage on props.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I teach my students they move into masculine energy with love
Yeah.
when they give a massage
Mhm.
and the person is receiving, so they're in feminine energy.
Okay.
And when we're positive, we don't take on their village in the mud.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of healers get sick
Yeah.
because they're actually taking
on
on
their energy.
Yeah.
the energy
Yeah.
of the other person.
Yeah.
So
So-
that we call that magnetic healing, which is
Mm.
feminine healing. But in Tantra, we use masculine healing.
Right.
And she's
Yeah.
very good. And it's not just Tantra that
Reiki.
Kathy teaches. Yeah, Reiki. So Kathy was my Reiki teacher.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
it's
lucky.
I'm blessed because it was really evident. And as a Bowen therapist, you know, you do take on other people's energy, and just to be able to even push that, give that instead of receive it back from them is huge.
I think
It's
that
been
was
a
one of
huge
the
change.
things that you had as your one thing on our previous shows, wasn't it? When we did on radio, good old-fashioned radio.
Good old radio.
Oh, I can't remember now. God, it was a long time
Yeah,
ago. I
I'm
feel
pretty
like I've
sure
been
that
on,
you
on for
mentioned Kathy
years.
Zan.
Yeah, I probably did.
And Reiki was one of them. Yeah, and they're all uploaded on YouTube now,
cool.
thanks to Wayne.
Yeah, beautiful.
So
Yeah,
those
I'm going to
old
ask you
shows
something
are there.
about you Reiki for all of everyone here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm still very much on the fence on it. Okay. I think a lot of it is a little bit yada yada. All right. I hear when people say that they can give Reiki over the phone or from the other side of the world, I have real trouble with that. I really do. Because when someone's in the room with me, I can actually feel their energy if they wish to give it, that is. Well, actually, that's not true. You can just feel it full stop. Okay. But I need to have that physical, like I need to see them. I need to be in that room to actually feel it. So when I hear about Reiki over the phone, I find that it feels dishonest.
Expert?
Well, look, in Reiki 2, which traditional Reiki.
The sequel.
Reiki
You
2.
need to do one first, though, I think.
Of course I do.
Called Okuden. We do learn to send absent healing to anywhere and to anyone across any distance, space and time. The only thing that I don't agree with is that people are attuning people to Reiki via phone and video. And that's just my own beliefs.
Okay.
I do feel the person needs to be there because you're working with their aura.
So I'm glad you've said that. 'Cause to me, I've heard a lot.
But you can still, what she's saying is that's only to attune them. To give, if you want to receive, and because you've got the block up, you probably won't receive. But if you want to receive, and I am doing a distant healing on you from Les Murdy to Mount Lawley, and you go, Leanne, I've got pain running all the way down my back. Okay, well, Aaron, how about I send you some Reiki healing,
followed by my invoice.
Followed by my invoice. But if you are willing to receive it, you will receive it. If you don't want to receive it because you feel it's dishonest and disrespectful, you won't get it.
But are you just doing that yourself then? Because you're allowing yourself.
All right,
to believe
Aaron.
in
What about this? When you receive a phone call from somebody that you've just been thinking about.
Yeah. I'm not saying there's not a cosmic level to things. I'm not by any stretch of imagination.
Yes, you did. You just pretty much said there wasn't a
I'll
cosmic
tell you
level
why.
to things.
Because I've seen
how it flows.
I've seen it. Here's the example I've seen. I've seen guys use this as a pickup technique. Okay. And I find that dishonest.
What is it?
Okay. I'm going to do some Reiki on you. Da, 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 da.
What?
Yeah. They'll use it to keep a woman in their life or whatever. Yeah, I've seen it 3 times.
Who are you hanging around with?
Oh. Yeah, it's the 5 people, hey?
Yeah. But
I know you need to find some new friends,
over many years, I've seen that, okay?
Yeah.
And they may 100% believe in it, okay? I could be completely wrong. I see it as having a nefarious kind of background behind
Well, it's like anything, they sound like they're quacks, but, if people are genuinely into it, then...
We're a free speech thing. I can't disagree. Right?
I know, yes, absolutely.
Okay,
You're allowed to disagree. We are.
No. And because I do believe in it. I just want to be in the same room as someone. I think for me, maybe that's
your preference.
Yeah, maybe it's my
your
Could
preference.
just be my
Because
and that's okay.
energy
So
does
next time
follow
he
thought.
needs a distant energy healing, just know his preference, and you can't get here today, so he misses out.
Send me a text. You're right.
I just keep looking at the pussy wagon there on Kill Bill.
Dear. Please explain what you're saying there, because
It's right in front of me.
That is new, isn't it?
it is new.
I was looking at it earlier.
Yeah. Yes, one of our announcers put that up there. Isn't it nice?
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
So which announcer?
A female announcer.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
You already know who it is.
There you go.
It must be MS.
I'm not saying a thing. There we
Well, we
go.
don't have too many
we've
female
not got-
announcers.
We've not got too much longer. And I really want to...
Joe's just made a comment.
There we go.
Oh,
Joe
what's
Liz is
Joe?
just there we go. There we
I
go.
just had a guy want to hang out for some healing and affection. Can you imagine my response? Joe.
Yes,
Joe.
we know you.
Okay.
We
Well, you know what?
Joe. Yes,
See,
we can.
thank you for validating me there, Joe. I was right. Okay.
Oh, lucky Joe.
Give me his number, Joe.
We are running short of time, which really sucks.
We are.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw you a real curly one here.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Right. We're talking about this really positive side of sexuality and sex also, right? Okay. Now, modern day, we're about to hit 2025. Porn is a massive, massive, massive problem. It's really affecting so many people's minds.
That is true.
Can this? What does Tantra have to offer in that world, or against that world?
Well, again, Tantra brings you back to your heart. So
Okay.
you know, porn is more primal.
Yep.
It's a release.
Mhm.
And I had a client once, a guy, and this was many, many years ago, and he was coming weekly.
Right.
And I
Boom, boom.
don't have sex with my clients. I just want to do that for the record.
No.
And anyway, he said to me one day, he goes, I need to share something with you. He goes, I go to Working Girls every week.
Right.
And I was a little, back then I was a little bit naive. And
Working girls, prostitutes.
you prostitutes. Okay. I was a little bit naive going, well, why are you coming to learn this, you know? And he said,
You're paying money and giving them good quality.
He goes, I've had a revelation. He goes, I go to the girls, I walk in drained and I come out drained. I come and do the sessions with you, which is heart connection, eye gaze,
right?
You know, body touch, you know, consensual pleasure, body touch.
Yep.
And he said, and I feel on a high for after a week.
Wow.
So it proves it's energy.
Yeah.
And we all live in a world of energy.
And everything is energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. So that really changed my perspective.
Yeah, what a weird guy he is, to be honest with you. But all right, fair enough. Whatever floats your boat, right?
Do you want to be drained or you want to be uplifted with energy?
Yeah.
And the heart comes into that.
Of course it does.
Of course, porn doesn't deliver that.
No, how could it?
And in fact, lately people have been asking me, is there any tantric porn? Is there any porn that shows you loving people connecting?
Well,
and I actually don't know.
Then, is it?
Well, it can be because it can help some people. That's the
get
thing.
Stimulated, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Maybe that's another venture for you, Kathy.
Yeah.
Go. You know, who knows?
We've gone on many different little
tangents.
I was going to say rabbit warrens, but yes. Is there anything you would like to specifically talk about? Anything that, that you'd like to connect with other people with?
Oh gosh, I think today's just been, I guess, a taster, just a taster of for people to, know what Tantra is and what it isn't.
Okay.
And it really is about form, consciousness, soul. I mean, we call it soul, but you might say spirit or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever people's beliefs are. It is going from the animal body to something higher. And I think if anyone can get something out of that, then it's a game changer.
And I think we are all going higher. We all need to, as a collective, go higher.
Yeah.
Get out of that.
No doubt about it.
And I think that's probably a really good vehicle.
Yeah.
For people to learn more about that as well.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows the biological aspect of sex, but where's the love taught? Like, you know what I mean? Like you have all these books at primary school and, this is where you're made and how you're made, but where's the actual sacred love? I mean, I've heard of, young girls, having anal sex before they've even kissed,
No way.
Yeah, like lots of these things are going on. They're not kissed, they're having sex, whether it's
and giving
anal or vaginal sex.
School.
Well, that's our education department, our disgusting Australian
not even know what
education.
love is.
Yeah.
And Tantra is love, self-love first.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even love themselves. How can they love someone else?
Yeah. Well, it's the same. We had Maggie last week. What did she say about her 12-year-old? Went to school and they had they were talking about how to have safe anal sex.
Yeah.
You can't. That can't be real, for God.
It is real. Quite frankly, we've got an education department run by pedos, right?
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Maybe Tantra needs to be brought into the schools.
Maybe
that whole love connection needs to be taught in schools.
Well, I did do a big lecture at UWA on Tantra.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So I think it's starting. starting.
Okay. Well, I think look, I want to see both sides of it. If they're going to push this kind of this filth in primary schools right now, how about they push something that's got some positivity about it? We're all sexual beings. We all want to have sex. Well, just about everybody does, right? How about we push and promote something positive about
something healthy,
not the rubbish that they're selling now. Yeah,
that was in a high school, but still, 12 years old, it's not old enough to be knowing things like that.
No.
Yeah, and I also want to share that Tantra is for anyone, whether they're in a sexual relationship or not.
Okay.
Because if they're not in a sexual relationship, at least they can learn about themselves and how to do the practices for themselves.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
DIY Tantra.
and so just quickly, Kathy, because you do teach Tantra for people to become practitioners, right? So there must be thousands of practitioners out there that actually do Tantra as well. And would you recommend, like in Perth, would you recommend people to have a Tantra session just to experience it themselves, or to go for a period of time, or is it one-off session to learn a little bit more, or is it like a string of sessions, or how?
It can be whatever people need and want. It's up to them. And, you know, part of this higher spiritual attainment in Tantra is discernment. You know, being discerning of who you go to, you know, how much experience they have, where were they taught, what are their values, do their values align with yours? Because some people don't come to my Tantra school because their values are still in, I just want to have sex with everybody and get off and have whatever.
So why would they be coming to you then?
No, I'm saying they won't come to me.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? Because you know,
there's other Tantra schools.
There's you know, there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
And again, discernment. You know, there's this incredible saying: underneath every beautiful flower is a coiled serpent waiting. So basically, it's that saying in Tantra. It reflects on discernment.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't discern. They see the shiny flower and it's beautiful and they go for it, but they don't see what's under it. Yeah. So just check the Tantra teacher you're going to and what their values
Don't choose
are.
one off a shopper docket.
Beautiful.
No shopper docket.
No, we'll give that a miss.
So if people want to get in contact with you, Kathy, what's the best platform?
Probably my website, which is www.sanctuaryofAnanda.com.au. Ananda means love.
Beautiful.
Does it really?
And that was actually added to the information
beautiful.
as well.
Perfect.
So it should all be there for you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for today. I've really enjoyed it. I'm a bit bummed out. We've run out of time, to be absolutely honest.
Me too. Thanks.
Can we do it
Lisa.
again?
Thanks, Leanne.
Yes.
Right? Can we make next time just naughty? No.
I can use the microphone to show you lingam strokes.
If you could. You know what? Let's go out on that. Right?
Go on, Kathy. Do the lingam.
In fact, why use the mic? No, look.
Twist and shout.
Do it again.
Wiggle and giggle.
Wiggle and giggle,
Twist and shout.
Okay.
Well, shake it up, baby. It's time to get out of here. Here's Radio Australia. Thank you for being part of The One Thing.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.